Hello guys, that's me Poonam Pulwani and I'm a faculty of Aksh Academy. In this session, I'll be dealing how to approach ethics, integrity and aptitude paper of UPSC GS paper 4. First, understand what is the importance of this subject. You will find that the entire GS paper 4 is dedicated for ethics, integrity and aptitude. Around total 250 marks are given for this section. It's a quite scoring subject, a quite scoring paper I can say, as total 250 marks are given in this. So out of which around 40 to 50% weightage is given to the questions, and questions are normally the ethical questions like what is the happiness for you, what do you think of life, like this there are the questions, and around 50 to 60% weightage is given to the case studies, where you can find that the case studies are drafted so that your ethics and your values are to be shown in your in the way you are dealing with the case studies. So there are around 8 to 12 questions every year and around 5 to 6 case studies given in the paper. And for if you will go for the marks distribution, then you will find that around 120 to 130 marks are given for the questions and around 120 to 130 marks are given for the case studies. It means both the questions and case studies have around equal weightage. So you need to focus on both. And for approaching this paper, you need to understand first why this paper was added in the UPSC syllabus. It was not previously, it was added recently only. So you understand why this paper was added. It was because the first reason is the authoritative attitude of bureaucrats. During the British Raj era, the Britishers wanted that the bureaucrats should work in an authoritative way. So this is the attitude the bureaucrats have adopted since then, and till now they are working like an authority, but they are not. So we need to change that attitude of the bureaucrats. The second one was rampant corruption. You are knowing that the rampant corruption is prevailing in our bureaucracy, so we need to remove that corruption, and for this we need the bureaucrats to be ethical and have some values in them. Then comes the recommendation of the second AR, lack of empathy. Why we need? Because the bureaucrats are having lack of empathy in them towards the weaker and vulnerable section of the society. That is why we need to inculcate empathy in them, which cannot be inculcated during the training and by some external forces. For that we need ethics inculcated in them from their birth only. So from their birth process only, for their development of the ethics in them only. So, and second, because of these problems, the second ARC committee has recommended that the ethics paper should be included in the selection procedure only. That this is the reason why this paper was added in the syllabus. Now let us see what is the syllabus of this paper. First one is ethics and human interface. In that you will find that essence, determinants and consequences of ethics in human action, dimensions of ethics, ethics in private and public relationships, human values, lessons from the lives and teachings of great leaders, reformers and administrators, role of family, society and educational institutions in inculcating values. Then comes your attitude. Attitude includes the content, structure, functions, its influence and relation with thought and behavior, moral and political attitudes, social influence and persuasion. Then comes your aptitude and foundational values for civil services. Integrity, impartiality and non-partisanship, objectivity, dedication to public service, empathy, tolerance and compassion towards the weaker section. This is why this has been added in the syllabus. Further, emotional intelligence, its concepts and their utilities and application in administration and governance, contribution of moral thinkers and philosophers from India and world, public civil services values and ethics in public administration, status and problems, ethical concerns and dilemmas in government and private institutions, laws, rules, regulations and conscience as source of ethical guidance, accountability and ethical governance, strengthening of ethical and moral values in governance, ethical issues in international relations and funding, corporate governance. Then comes your probity in governance, that is concept of public service, philosophical basis of governance and probity, information sharing and transparency in government, right to information, codes of ethics, codes of conduct, citizens charter, work culture, quality of service delivery, utilization of public funds, challenges of corruption, and the case studies on above issues. You will find that the entire syllabus tells you that what ethical values the UPSC wants in yourself, and what are then according to that the case studies are drafted, and they want to know that how ethical you are through these case studies. As case studies is a better research method in the psychology, we can say. So, through the case studies, the UPSC wants to judge your psychological, ethical, and values in you. Now, understand what are the misconceptions about this paper or this subject. You can say that people think that it can be prepared by books, but trust me, it cannot be prepared by any books or by any external forces. The ethics should come in from inside you. Okay, and now people think that not as important as other GS papers. No, it is important similarly as other GS papers are, because it contains 250 marks in total. So if you are getting 250 marks in total for a single paper, which you not need to refer any more books, so you can score good in this paper. And as if you are ethical already, then you will not feel difficulty in answering the questions. Now comes your preparation in the same manner as other GS papers are prepared. Students think that preparation in the same manner is required as they are preparing GS papers, other GS papers, like reading books and going through the various books, thinkers, philosophers, remembering the quotes and all. But no, this paper does not require that kind of preparation. It just requires to inculcate the values and ethics in yourself. If you are feeling that there is something lacking in you, then you should inculcate those ethics and values in you during the entire preparation period of yourself. Now see what are the other misconceptions, that is mugging up quotes, thinkers, psychological theories. No, you do not need to mug up the quotes, thinkers, psychological theories, because UPSC does not want you to remember these quotes and thinkers and psychological theories. It wants you to perform as you are. It wants to see how you are, how much you are ethical, and how much values are there in you itself. So you do not need to mug up the things here. Now see what is the paper pattern. If you will go through the last 2 or 3 years papers, you will find that this paper includes question to test the candidate's attitude and approach to issue relating to the integrity, probity in public life, and his problem-solving approach to various issues and conflicts faced by him in dealing with the society. Questions to utilize the case study approach to determine this aspect. I told you that the case studies are drafted so to determine that these aspects you have within you, and you are capable of making a decision, you are capable of problem solving, and you have a good approach for the problem solving. So this is the paper pattern basically. Now what will be your sources? Yes, you need to see some sources, because there are some terminologies used in the syllabus which you might be not knowing correctly. So you need to refer that terms. So for that you have to go through the NCERTs. You will find the class 11th and 12th NCERT of psychology subject, where also you have to do a selective study, because there are so many research methods and all in that books, but you do not need to learn that research methods and the philosophers, the thinkers, their quotes. You just need to go through the terminologies used in the syllabus, that what does they really mean, exactly mean. So just go through the terminologies and concepts used in the syllabus. Now comes your IGNOU ethics material. You can also refer that material for simply introduction of the syllabus terminologies and the words used in the syllabus. Then comes your lexicon, ethics, integrity, and aptitude book. It also contains definitions. It's a vast book where you will find so many definitions, but again you do not need to go through all the definitions. Just go through whatever has been used in your syllabus. Then comes the Hindu editorials on ethical issues. As I'll say you that whatever the ethical issues are there in the news, do prepare that ethical issues also. Go through its various dimensions, how you can solve that issues. Like for an example, I can give you that euthanasia was in the news. So it's an ethical issue. And disarmament, universal disarmament in the international relationships, so that is also an ethical issue. So these kind of issues you can prepare from the Hindu editorials. And then comes the internet. If you want to go for the various thinkers, just have a read of their philosophy, and for that you can use the internet. So these are the all sources. And now see what should be a right approach to study this subject. First of all, I said you do read definition of various terms in the syllabus, because the terms used in the syllabus are might not be very familiar to you. So just go through its definition and understand what it exactly means. Then after, just go through the theories of various philosophers as mentioned below. I have told you that you should just go through the theories, understand what are the theories, what does it mean, what are its implications. So for that you can go for the theories of Immanuel Kant, that is also called as Kantian theory, for the J. Bentham and J. S. Mill utilitarian theory, R. Nozick and M. Friedman libertarianism, and J. P. Sartre existentialism, and A. Maintre and M. Sandel communitarian, Aristotle virtue theory, Karl Marx is Marxism theory, and Kantian ethics. Just these philosophers you go and read from the internet. You do not need more than that. After that, I have told you, do not rely on books and coaching institutes, because none of the external forces can inculcate ethics and values in you. That has to be inculcated by yourself. You have to change yourself. For that, you need to introspect your own behavior and self-contemplation. It means you have to see where you are lagging behind in ethics and values, what UPSC requires, and where you are standing. Just introspect yourself. Inculcate that ethics and values given by the various philosophers. Do a logical study of your own self, and according to that, give a self-contemplation. Now, writing answers, and do not force morality. You have to practice writing answers, and see, you do not need to force morality in them, because the reader will come to know in the examination that actually you are ethical or not. So do not try to force it. Give the answers as you are. Do not try to show off. Do not try to modify the things. So this is the paper where you do not need to give external knowledge. It is the paper only where you can give what you are, and it is exactly made to judge what you are. So give whatever your instinct values are. So write answers according to them, because if you are going to modify the things, you cannot modify for a longer time. And in the last questions of your paper, obviously you will be writing what you are feeling. So give the impression with starting only that what you are writing that only. Do not modify that. And practice case studies there, because the case studies will give you good marks. So do practice on the case studies. Make a decision making capability in yourself. Inculcate that also, because after being an administrator, you need to take decisions, solve the problems of the society. So basically you need to practice the case studies, that how you will behave in some conditions where you will face the problems and challenges in the society. So this should be a right approach. And your sources, not after that you need any books, not you require any coachings, not any mentor. So do prepare this paper by yourself, by your own ethical values. Thank you guys for listening to the Aksh Academy, a venture for spreading sustainable education, committed to provide quality education at sustainable price by eminent professors and scientists of various IITs and reputed universities. For online test series and study material, please do visit us at www.akshacademy.com. Thank you guys.